into action. Let's hope these technical issues don't persist, because then we're gonna have a real problem here. But there are 5 minutes remaining, as we can see that right now Pedro has set a 127.6, and he is quite ahead of his competitors. I mean, drivers that could actually challenge him could be probably Cameron, Young, and maybe, I don't know if Felix, depends on his pace, but it seems like he's quite ahead of his rivals.
That is true, of course. He's doing an excellent job right now, and right now Cameron is 18th, no time on the board, and he was one of his rivals. So if Cameron wants to actually beat his rival from last season, he's going to have to set a good lap time. So hopefully this time we won't have any issues. If we have an issue again, we'll try and resolve it. Ronaldo's keeper has had another issue, I believe. But then, Jan then is about to start his flying lap in this qualifying session with only 3 minutes and 43 seconds remaining of the session. They'll go on a PB coffee. Oh, Shane gets right in his way there, almost rear ends him, and Jan won't be happy with that. And Shane, that was a bit too close for my liking, actually, if that was me in that cockpit. Right now then, let's see what Jan can do. He's run about 5/10 off the current best lap time, which is a 27.6. So let's see if he can find that pace in this Ferrari, as Ferrari in real life hasn't had the best season. So let's see what he can do in the evaluation race.
I was actually able to watch him yesterday on another league, you know, evaluation race, and to be honest, he looked, and he validated, never mind, but he looked really fast. Like, he actually had some pace. The only thing he has to watch out probably is that he makes some silly mistakes that he'll have to watch out. But overall he's pretty quick, so probably he will be one of the drivers to watch later on the race.
Well, yeah, that is true, of course, as he has unfortunately invalidated, and people will be on their final runs then. As Jessica Harrison, who is actually Kevin's sister, the IRL 2 champion's sister, is currently 16th with a 32.6, which is an alright average lap for first time on the 2020 game, as she was a newcomer to 2019, and she's adapted to the 2020 and done a 32.668, which is an okay lap at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. On this game, she's not gonna be able to put an excuse. With this, I mean that, like, she already had the previous game, you know, to practice and to get used to the game, and definitely on this game, she will have to prove that she can be real quick. And right now, we're watching Javier, the driver from Chile on the Williams, finishing his lap. He's on a surprising 6th spot with 128.7, just 0.02 of a second ahead of Manford. And he's just about to finish his lap, opening DRS. Let's see what he's gonna set. It looks like a 128 low. Well, 128.4, that's a 3/10 improvement, just in front of the German driver Felix. And we can see that there are some drivers going up the pits now, but I don't know if it's too late to start going out. Probably they can cut the chicane and all that, but it's gonna be really
well, actually, with that cutting the chicane, as long as they don't affect anybody's lap, we are letting them do it. But if they're on a race lap and we do catch them doing it and it actually valids, I believe that was a 2018 glitch, which hopefully it's not a 2020 glitch. But I don't think Cameron's actually going to get a lap on time, because he's got 30 seconds. Even with this cut and chicane, I still don't think he's going to have enough time. As I believe Legend is actually out on a lap right now, Paco.
Yeah, I was watching Adrian, who just finished his lap. He just made an improvement but didn't change his position. Yeah, but let's go on board with Leyende. He's now on the big straight. He now opens DRS. And let's see, because Leyende has actually been here in previous season, but he has never had that consistency, you know. On this game, he definitely looks quite fast. Not the fastest, but he looks fast. And it's gonna be interesting to see if he can actually adapt and be real fast at the beginning of the season. As we can see, he's now heading through the third sector, going down to third, being careful of not losing the backhand. And where is he gonna be? Because he was improving by 1/10 and a half on that second sector. He now goes up to third. He's now gonna open the RS. Where is he gonna be? With the 1:27.9 just behind, well, 3/10 behind Pedro, but that's definitely not a bad lap.
Yeah, ain't a bad lap at all. Right now I'm on board with Energy Zeus, one of your comrades from Spain, a new fellow Spain driver, which is great to see, of course. And you know, the Spanish drivers are the best, in my opinion. Fernando Alonso. But here comes Energy Zeus then. Through the final corner with DRS activated. Let's see what time he will do. It's going to be close, and that's a 28.1 P4. Yep. So a very good lap there on the timing sheets. And Cameron Young has invalidated yet again and will be in 18th in the qualifying order, unless somebody gets disqualified. How about Jessica Harrison? Actually, apparently it's 8/10 up on a lap time, Paco. She's currently just out of sector 1, basically.
Oh, 7/10. On sector 2, so that's actually quite fast. And talking about Energy Zeus, he's actually a fast driver. I know him from a Spanish league, and I have to say that I don't know how he's gonna adapt to this league, but he's quite fast and he has big potential to at least be in F1 or either F2. So we'll have to see and wait. But right now we're focused on Jessica, trying to finish her lap. Quite deep on that break in, but is it gonna be enough to improve massively her time? 1:31.5, but she doesn't change her position, so still P17.
Oh yeah, that is true. She did change her position, but she did set a 32.6 the last lap before this lap, and she's improved basically by a whole second. And that's awesome to see, especially now she's only a 10th off a fellow driver who's in 16th. Right now, so she will be happy with that. She won't be happy with the position she's in, but she'll be happy on the leagues that she has got the pace on this game to challenge some drivers. As surprisingly, actually, the France circuit, she did race. I believe she got disqualified in because she braked a bit too early for everybody, and they weren't expecting a massive crash happen. Hopefully, that doesn't happen today. But right now, then, we're just waiting for the other Red Bull driver to actually retire the car. So we can get. Oh no!
What's up?
I think we've got a glitch.
No, but I think they were a bit ahead of us, because do you remember when we said that Cameron was not gonna make it because he was way behind?
Yeah.
Probably he had still more seconds, so we're just gonna wait for 20 seconds or so, because I don't think it's more than that. And if it doesn't, if not, we can tell everyone to retire, and that's it. If they can, of course. Oh, there we go, you see? Oh, yeah. So qualifying is over. And to be honest, it has been interesting because, of course, Pedro is quite ahead of everyone. We can see the gap between Pedro and his first follower. We could say Leyenda is of 3/10 and a half. Meanwhile, we have Dashi in third, Energy Zeus in fourth. Then we have Nino in fifth, followed by his fellow Manford in 6th, and then we have Javier in 7th, Felix in 8th, Catboy, also known as Kieran, in 9th, Luis in 10th, Shane in 11th, and then we have Daniel, Adrian, Jamie, I will hit you soon, Brain, Mike, yes, and in last position, without setting a lap, Cameron Young. So we have an interesting race because Cameron, it's gonna have to make a comeback. It's true that here we're not gonna evaluate the position you finish in, right? We evaluate the pace they have, but if he's gonna be faster, then he's gonna make his way through the field. So it's gonna be an interesting race, and let's hope we can have some good action. To everyone that maybe is listening to the stream while racing, just remind you that you need to start on the softs. Remember, you have to start on the softs, and if you don't do so, you're gonna have to pit on lap 1. Otherwise, you're gonna be disqualified, and we won't take into account your laps. Thank you very much. So now we go back to the race. And I want to make this because we didn't make our pole prediction, but I'm gonna actually ask you now. Who do you think is gonna be on your on top 3 at the end of the race, Jared?
Top 3. I think Pedro's going to be up there, possibly with Legende, and I'm going to give a random number 3 a chance. I'm going to go with Cameron. I think Cameron from the back of the grid is possibly going to get 3rd.
So Pedro, Legende, and Cameron. That's an interesting bet, I have to say. I'm gonna bet that Pedro is. I mean, I don't know why, but it seems like Pedro is like the safest option. I'm gonna put actually my Spanish fellow, Energy Zeus, on 2nd. And yeah, I actually agree with you that Cameron probably will be in 3rd. So let's put Cameron in 3rd. Probably we won't get any of those right, but you know, it's fun to try. Well, I would actually talk about strategies, but it's an easy soft hards, basically because we have obligated the drivers to go on those tires, so they don't have that much of an option. As we can see, predicted pit stop strategy, the game thinks that it's actually a 2-stop, but it's actually a 1-stop. You can easily make a 1-stop. And we can see the first driver to get disqualified of the formation lap. This never fails. I mean, in every race we see someone disqualified on the formation lap.
Oh yeah, that is true, of course. And actually, Gabriel Hod, or as I will hit you soon in the Red Bull, is actually on the medium tyre, so he's going to have to pit in on lap 1, go on softs, then go to the soft strategy till they run out, and then go hard tyres. I have privately messaged him to notify him. And you and me actually had different pit stop strategies. Mine had soft, medium, medium. Yours had soft, soft, medium. So, and now I'm getting soft, soft, hard. So it's multiple pit stop strategy. Looks like.
Yeah. Now we can see drivers getting into the grid. So race is close to start. Well, the first one to appear on the main straight is Faz, also known as Pedro. And yeah, once again we have the graphics, as you said, but yeah, useless graphic, to be honest. So, let's see if we have someone talking on the... Yeah, well, we have Luis Marshall. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying, alright, but I just talk too much, that's my bad, alright? And then we have a Spanish, well, not a Spanish, but probably a guy from Latin America saying Viva Javier. So race is about to start. We have 4 red lights, 5 red lights. I cannot see the red lights, but I'm trying to invent it. Brilliant.
Please. No, the lights.
Alright, now we're gonna see it. Alright, and away we go. We can see Pedro trying to defend, as we see lots of movement behind. He's gonna keep his first spot, but meanwhile behind we can see the Williams trying the overtake round the outside from the Ferrari. Meanwhile we don't have any incident on that first corner. And still the Ferrari and the Williams side by side. Energy trying to hold it. And he's gonna try and send it, but it's not possible though. And meanwhile behind, Nino trying to defend from Mumford, who has had a really good start trying to attack Nino. And now he's on overtake mode, trying to get some slipstream. Will he be able to send it at the end of this long straight? Oh, I think he will. No, he stays behind. And meanwhile behind we have a Mercedes trying the... Oh yeah, and he actually does it. Yeah, it's Cameron Young already. I mean, how many positions has he
9, I
gained.
think that is. That is
Yeah.
9, but just you've been basically Daniel Kvyat in China, the torpedo right now is he has just sent it every corner he can, and Cameron has a point to prove. You know, he could challenge Matthew, possibly. It's a very slim chance he could this season, but he is motivated to actually try and get a win in IRL this season, as he was not really getting the wins as much. Basically, the Williams team last season was Hamilton and Bottas, basically in Mercedes. But right now, then Cameron makes a move on the Williams of Javier.
From the
Goes around
outside.
Beautiful side-by-side action, which is great to see from these two. And also, listeners, I know everyone is a bit jittery. I don't know if that's actually PSN or that's the lobby itself. I don't know if you're having this issue as well.
I don't have those issues, I have to say. But right now, Cameron making a really good comeback. As we can see, Felix also all over Manfort, who is having problems to try and keep up with Nino. We can see he's already 7/10 behind. And until lap... and that's a really bad exit. Probably we will have a 3 wide here. As we can see, Felix really close from the back of Manfort, trying to move to the left, trying an overtake, and we have a 3 wide. Cameron going, and that's and he does it round the outside. Really good move from Cameron there, who actually overtakes both of them, and Felix keeps the position, but then Manfort has been the main loser of all this, as he's been overtaken by Javier, who went down the inside. Really good move by the Williams driver. And Manfort, it seems like... and he goes back at Javier.
Gone. Javier has gone round as we get another pit stop strategy then, as it will tell us for the first couple laps, but it will disappear. I don't know if Paco is getting this as well. But Javier there just lost it a little bit on the curve. I think that little bit of lag between him and Mumford didn't help. However, though, Javier doesn't really need to be annoyed by that. All we worried more
is the pace.
Is his race pace.
And actually this is a bit better, because he's gonna have some clean air, so it's gonna be better for him.
That is true, but is on your screen Jamie like ghosting for you? Because apparently Jamie is 13th when actually on the leaderboard it shows him 18th. I don't know if this is
for me he's 18. Actually, yeah. It's weird because on the timing, it's 18, but he's technically 13. Well, that's probably the lag. But let's hope that doesn't affect. We can see him being overtaken by the Red Bull from Ivory Mike. But let's hope that doesn't affect the race too much, as we can see Nino being overtaken by Cameron. And Cameron in a surprising 5th. I mean, he's quite fast, but he has made his way through the field in just 3 laps.
Yeah, that is true, of course. Cameron has been up there, but let's talk about Nino for a little bit. When he does do this evaluation race, he has a lot on his mind, because he actually won't be a first starter for a tier next season, well, this season actually, for the first 2 rounds, because he got a race ban actually with, surprisingly, the leader. He had a collision at this track, ironically enough, which gave him a season ban. But unfortunately, Nino then will miss the first 2 rounds, but he said as long as it's not Zandvoort and Hanoi, he will be happy, and Canada has been announced, of course, and it actually isn't Zandvoort and Hanoi for the first 2 rounds, so he will be over the moon with that. And he'll be happy to be in a race car again very soon, as right now he's sitting in 6th, getting challenged now by Felix Negwar, the past F1 champion, the only person actually to beat Matthew Alder in the IRL series. He could, if he did get dropped down to IRL F2, he could do IRL F1 champion, IRL F2 champion. Could be a thing for Felix, as he has got the pace for championship material. Right now he's ready to overtake Nino Romanello. He's now gone down a long straight Paco, and look at this, look at the slipstream he's getting, using that overtake beautifully there. Felix gets alongside, and just easy move.
Yeah, really easy move done by Felix, and he's now up to 6. Probably these two will be fighting along the race, because it seems like they're both on a similar pace. As we can see, yellow flags. Well, yellow flags for nothing, because in the indicated part there's no car going through it, but never mind. As we can see Kevin saying in the chat that's a game issue. So it happened with a full grid before. Yeah, so don't worry. We'll just ask Jamie to try and get his race director in case the one we get it's not right. Right now we have an interesting situation because Cameron is already in 4th, 6th, 10th behind the German driver in Ferrari. And it seems like he could actually win the race. I mean, he's faster than everybody else. But it's also interesting to see that Energy is being able to keep up with the Mercedes driver. He's still on the DRS range, which could help him in order to catch the Alfa Romeo and the Ferrari. So it's going to be interesting to see. As we can see already, ILRT Dashi making a move on Leyende. Easy. And will Cameron try a dive? Yes, he does. That was way too optimistic. He almost loses the back end of the car. But now he has definitely a better exit than the Alfa Romeo driver. They go side by side. But will Leyende try and hold it? He's gonna try and hold it round the outside as he has no ERS left. He tries to activate overtake mode, but mate, you don't have ERS left, so it's not gonna be useful. And we can see that this fight has allowed Energy to catch up with Leyende. So that's gonna be a big opportunity for him to try and overtake the Alfa Romeo driver as he goes straight into the pits for Hards.
Oh, yep, Hards is the way to go, so he is pitting early then.
And Nino.
Lap number 5. And Nino as well then. So we did test, of course, with the tyre wear with damage off. The tyre wear is still a thing, so certain cars, people who don't have skill with the throttle inputs could spin out and could give us outliers on lap times, as the Alfa Romeo and the Racing Point crew have a slick pit stop for hard tyres, and they're the first two to come in, as you've said. But that be what Cameron made there on Legende. Packer was a bit questionable. It was basically a dive out of nowhere. I know he has a point to prove, but it is an evaluation race. There's no need for massive lunges like that, and could have easily spun out.
To be honest, it was risky, it was maybe aggressive, but let's be honest, if something had happened, it would have affected himself. So he ran his own risks. In the end, it seems it went fine. But yeah, maybe you could be right. He should watch out his moves. As we can see, Kieran going, overtaking Shane, or, Shane making a mistake, it looks like. But now he's at the back of Mike, trying to get the inside, and he's gonna back off. But definitely the Red Bull was way too generous and gave him too much space, and that made him lose a bit of time. But both of them fighting for the 10th position, as we can see the leader going into the pits. And I wouldn't be surprised if Leyende actually made an undercut on these guys, because I tried it before on our practice session, and you can actually gain a lot by doing an undercut. I mean, yeah, by pitting earlier.
Oh yeah, that is true, of course. There's Cameron and Pedro all in the pits, and actually Cameron's actually gained a little bit of time, it looks like, in the pit lane. So Felix gets a 3-second time penalty added to his time then. That's his first penalty of the session. And Cameron will have to watch out for the Alfa Romeo behind. That is Legende. It is on harder tyres, but his tyres will be warmed up compared to Cameron's. Cameron's will still be a little bit cold, and they will be going to the end of the race. There's actually Jess has gone for another set of softs. Now, I'm not, my eyes aren't deceiving me. Has she gone for a fresh set of softs?
Yes.
Yeah, Jessica.
No. Jessica hasn't made her pit stop yet.
Might be a tyre thing. It says she's on fresh softs.
She's on 13. In 13 for you, right?
Yeah, she's 13th, but it says she's on fresh softs on mine.
Well, probably it's a glitch, because then you go to stops and you can see that she hasn't done her stop yet. So don't worry.
No, that is true, of course. She hasn't actually made a stop. So another tyre graphic live, basically like the real F1, where someone was on a blue set of hards. We haven't had them since Britain. As Jan then peels into the pits with Felix Negwa and Lewis. As Mumford, the AlphaTauri, all of them for a double stack. Will it work as Felix there doesn't get held up? Not that much, to be fair, as here comes Pedro then.
Yeah, and
we'll be back in the net lead.
And we have seen that Leyenda was massively affected by that Williams, you know, Javier, who was just ahead of him and blocked him a little bit. But now we can see we could say that we could have a 6-way battle for the lead, because those 6 drivers on top, we can see that they are on the arrest range from each other. So this could be a key part of the race here.
Well, that is true, of course. It can be a key part in any race. But right now, if you want to get to the F1 tier and you want to actually show that you've got the pace for it, yeah, show that you can overtake, but also show your race pace and make the overtake count when you make it. Because overtake as ERS isn't as OP as last year. You could basically just stay behind the car and stay with him on ERS Mod 0. Now it's automatic ERS basically. The team, you're managing the overtake button only, so you still managing ERS, but you can't switch between through corners on that. So a lot of people are going to have to be a lot smarter in their decisions on their ERS battery usage.
Who actually looks to fail to like get on hards is Shane, who has gone on softs, if I'm not mistaken.
Has he pitted, or is this another tyre glitch?
Yeah, he pitted, and Jamie left the session.
Oh, Jamie, hopefully he can get back. You can rejoin. It is allowed.
If you can try, and
Lewis,
set a message to Shane to his PSN.
Pit. No, he didn't. Lewis pit again. Lewis also was the culprit as well. He went on similar set soft, so he's on for a set hard. And Wilson a message to Shane. Notifying him.
And right now we have an interesting battle for the leaders. We can see Pedro trying to keep away from Cameron Young, but right behind is a Ferrari trying to take advantage of any mistake that is made by any of these 2 drivers, which seem to be definitely the fastest of the whole grid here. So it's gonna be interesting to see if both of them get to race on the top tier, because it seems like they're similar in pace. As we can see Javier getting a 3-second time penalty for cutting the corner probably. Right now Shane, well, tries to make the move on Daniel, but there could be a 3 wide, as we can see the Renault trying to defend, but here we have the AlphaTauri getting slipstream from the Renault. He will try round the outside Shane, and he's gonna make the move. And actually, will he try the move again on Daniel? Well, let's see. In wait, he tries to hold around the outside, but that's impossible. Will he try to sneak down the inside? He doesn't have space again. Oh, and look at that. Oh, definitely Daniel didn't have a good exit, and he almost takes out the AlphaTauri while... Oh, the McLaren try. Oh, we have a 3 wide. What an angle here as Shane holds it, and he is still P9. But what an amazing... What did they think going through there? I mean, 3 wide on a corner. That definitely... It's really difficult to get a 3 wide there. Amazing stuff. And they were able to keep it clean. That's the most important thing about all of that.
Well, that is true, of course. It is keeping it clean without any contact, or I would say damage, but kept it clean, 3 wide at that section, which is not really the best area. You will lose time, and every time you battle you do lose time, unless you're, for instance, Matthew Older, but that's a different story. But right now then, these 3 are still not finished with each other there. Daniel must be enjoying himself in there, must have a bit of popcorn, a bit of a cold drink, and just relaxing.
It seems like Daniel is not that slow as he said. Like, we could see Mumford had a really good qualifying pace, you know, a 1 lap pace. But definitely Daniel is on the same pace as Mumford, who definitely doesn't seem to have that much pace. It's Shane, because he's on the softs, and he is not going that quick.
Yeah, that is true, of course. Some people can be quicker certain seasons, as we've seen. You know, myself, I was quick in 2018, then 2019, the pace just dropped. So you've just got to adapt, basically. And a person who has adapted the most, I think, is the top two. They're in a world of their own right now, battling each other right now as we speak, as they will be fighting for the first. And I know these two will want to be in the top tier.
Yeah.
But if they do go in the top tier, they're going to have to learn no ABS. I know Cameron is on no ABS, but I don't know about Pedro. Since F1's now only line only as the assist, every other assist is turned off. So it is a big step up if you want to challenge
Well, actually,
the guys with the assist.
I think he's no ABS because I don't know if it was me, but I think I saw him locking up. I'm gonna go on board for a while just to see if he locks up. But yeah, definitely it's gonna be a thing to watch, as we can see Cameron approaching dangerously close to Pedro, trying to sneak down the inside, but still he's gonna wait and maybe try the overtake on the main straight, as he's trying to keep close, but that's allowing Dashi to get even closer to these guys and maybe sneak for an opportunity. Nino is already catching energy, which seems to struggle to keep up with Leyenda.
Well, that is true, of course. Energy is on his own and he's getting actually caught quite quickly by Nino, actually. It was 6/10, now it's 4/10, so Nino is in attack mode, as he likes to say. As Eisen's actually energy, he's actually named more Ethan, as he likes to be called apparently. So Ethan then, 5th, and he's getting caught by Nino Romanella, as I do have the real names of everybody, so if anybody does ask for their actual names or Paco needs help with them, we'll let him know. But yeah, right now then, Ethan's actually slowly catching up with Legende there, Paco, actually getting 10th through that corner, so Legende may not be safe for 4th at the moment.
No, definitely he's not. And I have to say that Pedro doesn't have ABS on because I've just seen him locking up. So yeah, and Dashi definitely also could have the pace, because it's true that they have been fighting the guys ahead, but he's keeping up and that's not easy.
Well, yeah, that's true, of course. It's not really that easy on this game. Yeah, it's a lot more of a factor now as from last year's game, as the F1 drivers have tried to help develop this year's game. There's still a few bugs. He went wide there a little bit there. I think you were oohing about, actually, so I'm surprised he didn't get a penalty.
Nino and Energy.
Was the penalty's actually all stricter now.
And Energy almost loses the back end. He was able to save it amazingly, and he has lost that position, but unfortunately he hasn't spun, so he's able to continue normally with his race. But oh my god, that was a really close call from Energy.
Oh yeah, he is in 6th now, so he has lost just to Nino, and it ain't gonna bother him. He's just relaxing, and I have talked Shane to pits, but looks like the message hasn't gone through, so hopefully he does go hard to the end of the race, or he may have to do another evaluation race, or he's going to have to do TT times, or we're just going to have to see what his pace is on mediums and try and see where he is, because it is, we did say soft to hard was the strategy. Now I understand if you forgot, but we have told you plenty of times, so in my opinion you should peel into the pits as soon as possible to go on the hard tyres. He is catching Mumford though, so could be a possible fight between the two McLarens with the AlphaTauri in 8th.
Yeah, definitely. It could be a fight, but it's just sad for Shane that he's not being able, to follow the rules. And he was on Discord actively, so it's surprising that he was not able to read it, or that he was not aware of that. But anyways, he's getting closer and closer. But we have, at the moment, it seems like we have some fights that are about to explode, if you know what I mean, to occur. But they don't get, it doesn't get to happen, We can see, for example, Cameron and Dashi, whose real name, if I'm not mistaken, it's Jan Summer. And we can see that both of them are getting dangerously close, but they don't make a move on each other. So we have potential battles, but they don't get to happen.
As you can see there, massive lock up there from Cameron as Shane does finally pit, so I will actually keep an eye on Shane then, as you can keep an eye on the top 3 fighting. I will let you know if he does go on a set of hard tyres, as he's coming into his box, and I see the white wall tyres. He's got the message, and he is on hard tyres, so he's good in 13th, and then we'll go back to the battle. Actually, Legende has dropped to 6th. What happened to him? He's made a mistake.
Yeah, definitely. Probably it was a mistake. I couldn't see it, but yeah, it looks like a mistake because both of them, Energy and Nino, were able to overtake him. And meanwhile, we have Cameron Young and Pedro, who both of them have been fighting for the whole race, but I'm not sure if, because Cameron has been able, he started last and he was able to get up to 2nd, but once he was behind Pedro, he hasn't been able to make the move, or he didn't want to make the move. But if that's the case, he could be losing a lot of time.
Well, that is true, of course. Cameron's going to have to be smart, though. As I've said, the ERS isn't as OP, so you're going to have to be smart with the ERS usage and when to press the overtake button on a straight. Could be a viable option, but I think maybe on an exit of a fast right-hander corner or something like that. Because I know Cameron is good on traction, as he has improved a lot, so if he wants to try and win this race and pull a gap, he's going to have to do it soon. But Cameron isn't as consistent as Pedro, in my opinion, because last season he had a lot more DNFs with just bad luck, so he could make a mistake, could bottle. Hopefully I don't give him the commentator's curse, but right now I think the best he's going to get is 2nd place. I don't think he is going to win. I think Pedro is going to run away with it in 1st.
Yeah, it could happen, and we can see that Jan in 3rd is barely keeping up. I mean, he's just on the edge of losing DRS range. And meanwhile, behind, we can see those 3. I mean, we have 3 guys fighting for the win. Well, we could say that 3 guys are fighting for the win, and then we have 3 guys fighting for 4th. So interesting battles we have right down on track, as Shane gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. But we can see also Ethan, barely, like, it seems like he's reducing the gap, but then he loses on this 2nd and 3rd sector. It seems like that DRS is allowing him to keep up with Nino, but then on the 2nd and 3rd sector, he's struggling to keep up.
Well, yeah, that is true, of course. I have noticed that a lot, and just a bit of new information, actually. We've now actually passed 300 subscribers, which is awesome to see. Thank you guys who have been watching the video, subscribing that, who are new. Keeping that button and try and get us to 400, which is our next goal. But yeah, Cameron does need to make the move soon. He is going to start struggling because, also, which I haven't mentioned, tyre temperatures are a thing. As Cameron's actually possibly going to make a move now, possibly die.
He's gonna dive it, he's gonna send it down the inside. Pedro tries to hold it, they almost make contact. As we can see now, Cameron is gonna try to have a better exit. Pedro definitely trying to all round the outside. Both of them barely have ERS as they put overtake mode. Oh, look at that, Cameron down the inside, going full throttle, so not losing speed definitely. But definitely Pedro had a lot of respect for him because he left plenty of space, but he still holds down the inside. Definitely. Oh, that was too naive from Cameron. Cameron definitely should have, because that's what I was talking about. Pedro was definitely leaving plenty of space. Oh, and Cameron retired from the session. What happened there?
I think he realised he was in the wrong, and well, that doesn't help us because we wanted him to actually do the whole race. Well, he's either going to have to do TT or he's going to have to do another 10 laps.
Well, I mean, to be honest, I think with the laps that he has done, I think we have enough. But definitely that's a bit naive from him, because he definitely knows that we need those laps. And, well, unless he was like on a rush, and he had to leave or whatever. In that case, we can understand it. But yeah, disappointing stuff from him. I don't know if he rage quitted, but if he did, then disappointing. If he went off because of an emergency, then we can understand the situation, of course.
Yeah, that's true.
And behind, Isan getting really close to Nino. And this is getting interesting because definitely it seems like both of them are on a similar pace, and it could be at any time when Energy decides to throw it down the inside. As we can see, he taps a little bit the back end from Nino, but he just lifts off to avoid any further contact, and the Racing Point is now, well, keeps third at the moment.
Right, that is true, of course, as Ethan has picked up the pace a little bit now, and he has Legenda behind him, basically in his gearbox, so he has going to have to watch out for that as well. As you were saying,
oh yeah, that I was watching Michael and Luis fighting for 12 as they are catching Adrian, both of them on fresher hard tires. As we can see, the Red Bull runs a little bit wider, but definitely both of them trying to catch the Ferrari driver, who seems to be a little bit slow at the moment.
That is true. He's... And which Ferrari driver is slow?
Adrian.
So yeah, he's 11th, and yeah, he isn't showing pace as the other Ferrari who's in first, but as we've said, we just want to see a race consistency pace. He is getting caught actually by Lewis, so there is a fight there between them two.
Yeah, at the moment we have some good fights. We have Javier, Kieran and Mumford fighting for that 7th spot. Then we have Legenda, Energy and Nino fighting for that last podium spot. But then we also have a fight for the lead. So definitely we have plenty of fights to watch. 9 laps left, which means that there's gonna be plenty of action left. So it's gonna be an interesting end for the race.
That's true, of course, as Louis there is making me around the outside of Adrian, and gets the job done. As you can see, Adrian's lag isn't really helping. I have raced against him. His connection isn't the best, but it isn't that bad where he's ghosting.
So, he tries to keep it down the inside, and he actually does it. Really good move from Adrian, but look at that. Rhys is gonna try again at any moment, as he stays behind Adrian, but only momentarily.
Yeah, that's true, of course, and Adrian isn't lagging that much, as I said, but it might actually look different to the kart drivers, as we're going to see a point of view on lap 23 to 26. I will be checking Race Direct, because I've already got cameras Race Director, so if you can remind me roughly in that time frame.
And Pedro makes the move for the lead, so now he's back in first, but he cannot relax, because definitely the Jan has some pace, and he could actually keep up with Pedro, so he's gonna have to push till the end. He cannot get overconfident. As we can see once again, Nino trying to defend from Ethan, who is actually, it seems like both of them, well, those 3 guys are definitely on a similar pace, so probably all of them could end on the same tier. As we can see, Luis definitely making the move again on Adrian, but it seems he's on a similar situation as on the last lap, where Luis made the move on the similar spot. But will Adrian try to make the move back on Luis? No, he's not. He's not close enough, and it seems this is gonna be it. As we go back to the fight for third, as they are really close. But Jared, if you can keep an eye on that fight for 7th, because definitely we have multiple fights and multiple things that can happen.
I will keep an eye on that fight for 7th then, as Kieran is slowly closing up down Mumford. Not ready to make the move yet. He hasn't got that much ERS at either of these two, but the person who's actually waiting in the wings is Javier. He's got double their ERS basically. Basically their ERS put together so he is ready to attack very shortly. Actually, I think he actually might make a move on both of them. Maybe this, like, if he gets a good exit, he's only 2 tenths of his PB, so could be a possibility.
Yeah, definitely, it could be a possibility. Right now, it seems it's so frustrating because Kieran, not only, well, Kieran actually could be on a move. Oh, he's not, definitely, he had to brake a little bit. But it seems like, for example, Ethan gets really, really close from Nino, but he's not able to make the move. And the same happens here. And as we can see, Javier being really, really brave down the inside, making a move on both his teammate. No, sorry, I confused the Williams livery with the AlphaTauri, my bad. But definitely, he was able to make the move on the McLaren, and he almost makes it work on Manford. And Kieran probably won't be happy because he has been for several laps now behind Manford, and he hasn't been able to make the move. And Javier now will have a chance.
That is true, of course. There was Javier then laps Jamie, and as you said, got past the McLaren quite easy. Very good move there from him. It's good to see the Williams up there. With the new livery it's got, don't get me wrong, I'm not really a big fan of livery with certain features on it. It looked better with that colour scheme with nothing added on. But don't get me wrong, the Williams livery, they can make decent liveries all the time. But it would have been nice to have the BMW 2003 vibe livery. But I will say, Javier right now is on an attack run. Basically right now he's about to overtake Mumford. If he can just get a little bit close, move for a possible lunge like Cameron did, he's going for it. Says on the inside, oh, very close and personal between these two, almost touching his rear tyre there. And can't make the move at the moment.
Yeah, at the moment he cannot make it. I mean, he's gonna have the same problem as Kieran. If Kieran was behind Manford for several laps, it was for a reason. Definitely we can see that Javier has much more ERS than Manford, so on the final laps he will be able to make the move probably, as we can see that ERS is quite powerful. But right now we're watching this battle again for third. Will Energy try to make the move? We can see that he has been saving plenty of ERS, but will it come the moment to try and use it? As we can see, he doesn't have a good exit from there, but he's gonna try it. He's in overtake mode. He's gonna get close, even closer. He's gonna dive down the inside even before. Oh, he was about to close to Nino, but Nino said, no, I'm still here. As he holds round the outside, but now he's gonna have the inside, and it's gonna be Energy who's gonna try to go round the outside this corner, going full throttle. Amazing fight between these two, and now the Racing Point still holding on. Amazing fight between these two, full respect on them as they still side by side, but now I think it's gonna be the position for Energy. As we can see behind, I think it was Javier who finally overtook Manford.
Yeah, it was a very simple, easy move. Basically, the copycat maybe made on the McLaren and gets the position done, and Adrian there gets another penalty added to his time. But Kieran then, he's a lot closer to Mumford this time, as I believe this is Mumford's third season in IRL, second season.
I think it's the third season.
13, so Mumford has been here for a while, so he's already shown these new drivers how to race, and he's doing a very good job right now. As then in 7th, Kieran in 9th place right now. As you did say, that fight for P3 is getting very tasty between Nino Armello and Legende.
Yeah, finally Energy decided to make a move, and this has opened a situation where actually both of them could try and make a move on Energy. As we can see Nino getting dangerously close, but he doesn't make the move. He almost taps the back end from the Williams, but he's now behind. I don't know. No, he doesn't have more ERS than the Williams driver, but it seems like he could have a bit more pace, and that could be key on the final laps.
Yeah, that is true, of course, as final laps can matter. Like, me and Kevin actually had a massive fight. He slowed down a little bit, I pulled away, and then on the last lap, he gained a second on me and then overtook me in the final corner. So, ooh, big shunt there from Nino on
Yeah.
Ethan there. Don't know if that was lag related or anything, but Nino needs to be careful. Remember, you got the race ban. Just keep
Yeah.
your head cool and just stay focused.
He's
As Ethan then is defending.
Oof. That's as you would say, that's questionable. Uh, because the William driver, I'm not sure if he made actually 2 moves before the braking zone. It seems like he was going to cover the inside and then he went back to the normal racing line.
Well, you can do that if as long as there's no one about to make a move on you. Nino wasn't actually that close to be fair, but even still, there wasn't space. It didn't look like he actually made 2 moves. Nino did move twice. He went left and right.
There we go.
Here comes Nino. Look like straight line speed, easy as you can do it.
Oh, but the switchback.
Oh, could get a good run, Ethan here.
Yeah, really good. He actually seek for the opportunity. Really great move by Energy because he saw that Nino was going deep on the braking and he just waited to try now traction the racing point. Smart move by Energy, and we can see Kieran making finally a move on Manford after several laps. And now he's gonna try and catch Javier. It's not gonna be easy, but he will try though.
Yeah, that is true, of course, and I will check the race director at the end of this lot
Around the outside.
now, so actually I'm going to now look at the race directors then, Paco, so you can view the rest of them.
So, we can see Manford, who made again the move on Kieran. A really good move down the inside. We have to say that I think Kieran was a bit generous there. But still, he made the move work. That's the relevant thing. As we can see right now, again, Nino on the RS range, 5/10 behind Energy, and he will try to make the move work. Will he be able though? Because he has less ERS, and definitely Energy trying to use those last drops of ERS. But we can see this fight has been going on for the whole race, and it hasn't ended. And meanwhile, on a surprising turn of events, we can see Jan trying to get that victory. I don't know how penalties are going. What's the current situation on penalties? As we can see, he now gets a 3-second time penalty, but I don't know how many more penalties he has. But if he has more than Pedro, then that's it. As we can see, Leyende has dropped out. Well, or it seems he's about to drop out of the DRS range. 7/10 behind, and Kieran once again really close from overtaking Manford. He's trying on. He's all over the AlphaTauri driver, but will he still try? He has been all the race. Well, or at least the second stint behind Manford, and probably that's already going into his mind. But he has to keep cool and just try to wait for the opportunity to come, because there's still 2 laps, well, 1 lap and a half. As we can see Nino finally closing up on Energy. But I think he's finally saving for that final lap. That's gonna be crucial. Hola Menai. Yeah. Menai, an old friend on the chat. Well, not an old friend, but definitely a good mate. As we can see Nino trying in every single way to overtake Energy, but it's not easy. If they have been all the way this race, fighting again and again, it's for a reason, and both of them know how to defend. As we can see Jan making the fastest lap as he overtook, actually, he overtook Pedro, and he has made the fastest lap, but now Pedro is gonna have an opportunity to try and go at Jan. So this is gonna be a interesting fight for the end of the race. Oh, and Jared is back.
I am back, of course. I've got everybody's race director now. From lap 25, we'll go over them again at the end. But yeah, at the moment you are right. Actually, you made the move from lap 26 into turn 1, first when you did miss that, and I was doing race director at the time. But yeah, Pedro then is running out of chances then, as you would say. You know, he's not going to have that much luck. This is the last straight. I'd say you could make the move. The final corner, you're not really that close unless you save all that ERS and just literally send it and put a rocket engine on that car. But I think John's going to win this.
Well, unless penalties say the opposite. As we can see, they are both going really, really close. But also Nino having an opportunity on energy. This is going to be a close end. We'll go with the leaders as they run out, as they run through the final couple of corners. It's going to be physically Jan who takes the win. But will penalties avoid that from happening? As we can see a Red Bull going in front, that probably is I will hit you soon. As we can see Jan taking the win, but Pedro will take it on penalties. And meanwhile behind, it hasn't been able, Nino hasn't been able to take it on track, but will he take it on penalties? No, he doesn't. Energy key. Oh, but that's surprise. Il Legende was actually waiting for it, and I think he was pretty clever because he was not involved in any fight, and I think he was just waiting and waiting for that to happen. So it probably for him it's no surprise. It doesn't come as a surprise that he was able to get that third spot. And meanwhile, we have Javier finishing on 7th, and Felix had quite a lot of penalties. As we can see, Manford finishing on 8th, and I think Kieran just moved back to 9th due to penalties. Luis overtaking Kieran on penalties. Daniel finishing 11th. Adrian had plenty of penalties. Probably Michael will be able to catch if he didn't. Yeah, definitely. He goes up to a 12th. And the last one to cross the finish line will be the Red Bull from, if I'm not mistaken, I'm gonna say his name for once.
Gabriel, I believe.
Yeah, Gabriel. Yeah, you actually said it right. I need to learn the names, because on this race I mainly said the ID, their PSN, and that's not good. But anyways, it has been great fun, this evaluation race.
Yeah, I've got to agree. There's a lot of people with different paces here, and Michael actually gets to drive the day there. And I would say Cameron would have got it if he actually stayed in the race, but let's say, in my opinion, Pedro gets it in the end because with that spin he comes back and still gets the win. As there's a little dance there on the podium.
Yeah.
So first win in the evaluation race then, and he will be happy with that. You don't have to do another one. So all he now has to wait is for the grid placement for him, which will be when everybody's evaluation race is complete.
Yeah, and to be honest, I have to say I was surprised by Jan because he was able to keep up with Pedro in certain points of the race. It's true that the DRS makes it easier, you know, to keep up. But you have to be there and you have to have the pace. So really good job, and yeah, definitely for us, I think it's gonna be difficult to place everyone because tomorrow we have like the strong grid, you know, the powerful grid with top drivers like Matthew, like Luis Belk, Then we also have Marquez's or Ims. So it's gonna be really close, but going through the grid really fast. We have Pedro in first, Yanni in second, Leyende or Casper in third, we have Ethan in fourth, Nino in fifth, Felix, then we have Javier in eighth, we have Manford in ninth, Luis, Kieran, and outside the top 10 we have Daniel, Michael, Adrian, Shane, Gabriel, Jess or Jessica, Jamie, and Cameron Young, who was not able to finish the race. So what a race, I have to say. I'm proud to announce, well, I'm not proud to announce, but Jared, we didn't get anything right on the, well, we did Pedro on the win, but we didn't predict the rest. So, yeah, not our finest job, right?
Well, we've done a very good job. It is the evaluation, of course, and yeah, I was just sorry, I've just been sent something. But yeah, it's been a very interesting race with fast drivers and that and everything. So it's been great to actually be here and do comms with you, and actually I've got all the race directors for the admins and that to look over and evaluate where everyone's going to be. As you did say, tomorrow is going to be the big grid with Odams, Louis, Lickle, Matthew Holder, and a few returning people, as I've said, who've come back to the F1 tier. So it'll be a very interesting championship this season. Matthew does know he hasn't got an easy ticket, as I would say. So yeah.
Yeah, I have to say, and I'm really proud of the. It's not to give us like all the merit, you know, because the drivers have given us the opportunity, you know, to grow as a league. But I have to say, this season, it's amazing that probably we will be 5 tiers. We cannot confirm it yet, but the level has risen, you know, and now we have even better drivers. And I think for once, finally for once, the top tier is going to be really, really, really exciting, because Matthew finally will have some rivals, you know, and it's not going to be that easy. So excited to see how the placements are going to be, because we have to wait until that happens. But then definitely, I think it is in 2 weeks' time with the preseason race probably going on. It's gonna be exciting to see where everyone is, you know, but yeah, and just to end the stream, Jared, is there any driver who has surprised you, or that you have an eye on, like that could potentially do really, really well this season?
Well, an eye on. Interesting. Choice words actually. I think Felix, to be honest, he's improved his pace. It isn't up there, but I think he has got a lot of chance to improve a lot more, and possibly also with Pedro and Ethan as energy. So, but no, I think Felix will be my number 1 pick of the most improvement of this season, and could be, if he is in a lower tier, could be fighting for a championship.
I would like to agree with you, but actually I would say, well, the problem with Felix, and I think that's why I have such a low perspective from him, is that he was not involved in that many battles during the race, right? And he went a little bit, how do you say in English? He was out of the radar, if you know what I mean, right? He did a smooth race probably, but he didn't get the attention of us, because he was not involved in any battle, and probably that's why I don't have that such a view of his race. But definitely I could see why you say that. In my case, I think I was surprised with, and it's not because he's from Spain, but I was surprised with Ethan and probably Nino. Both of them, because I've seen his pace from other leagues, and he definitely was quite fast, but I didn't expect him to be up there, you know, with close to the podium, right? So I think both of them, Nino and Isan, are gonna make a good season, and it's gonna be interesting to see. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens. Anything to add, Mr. Fosbury?
No, I've got nothing else to add.
Well, then I guess this is the end of the stream. Well, just before ending, we can see in the stream that Energy gave us his thoughts about it. He said, great battles. I have to agree. He also says that it was hard. Definitely, I agree that it was. But yeah, great battles. So yeah, this has been everything. I think to be this our second stream together. Oh, that was a crack. But to be our second live stream, it was not bad, right?
Yeah, it was not that bad. I enjoyed it. So, you never know, it could be a commentary duo in the future.
I hope so. I mean, yeah, there's still way to improve, right? But yeah, I think it was quite exciting and quite a good show on track, and I think we did as well our best. We did our best. So this has been everything for today. I hope you've enjoyed the stream. If you can share it with your friends, give it a like, even share it on social media, that's appreciated. Thank you for those 300 subscribers. We have to always thank the fans and the drivers, because without you we wouldn't exist, of course. So thank you for everything. This has been all for today. Tomorrow we'll be back with the Saturday evaluation races with Grid 1 and Grid 2. Both of them with top drivers. So it's going to be great fun. And on Sunday we'll be back with our last evaluation races. In this case, it's a trio, we could say, with 3 grids at the same time. Jared hosting, if I'm not mistaken, the first grid or the second one, right?
Second grid.
The second grid, and Brandon was hosting the first one, right?
No, Matthew is
Matthew.
hosting.
All right, I got it all wrong. Great as always. And I will be hosting the third grid, but I will be racing on it. So you already know what grid to tune in. Anyways, as I said, this has been everything for today. Thank you very much, and see you tomorrow.